Welcome to another episode of Truth from the Trail. What an odd place to do a story, but as I was hiking just north of Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania, I came up on this very small family cemetery. A lot of the markers are children. I saw an age 5. I saw a 5-month. Several of them date back to the 1800s, and really a sacred place, I'm sure, for this family. Maybe 20 markers, 25 at the most. But I ran across one like this in Shenandoah, a much larger cemetery. But this is a very old cemetery that I've shown you some pictures. But I happen to think of, it's not really in the series of the stories that I've been telling. It's actually one that took place much later in Jesus's ministry. A very short dialogue that's very familiar to most people. It's when Jesus was preparing his disciples for his departure, for his death, his crucifixion, burial, resurrection, the whole 9 yards. And what he said to them was, don't be disturbed. Don't let your heart be troubled. If you believe in God, you can also believe in me. In my Father's house, there are many dwelling places, mansions. If it weren't so, I'd have told you. And I'm going to prepare a place for you. And if I go, I will come back. And I'll receive you to myself, so that wherever I am, you can be there also. One of his disciples, a guy by the name of Thomas, said, Lord, we don't know where you're going, so how are we supposed to know the way? And Jesus said that famous line, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. When I come to a place like this, boy, I think about the next phase of life, death, life. And I think about that story and what kind of life lessons can I get from that brief little dialogue between Jesus and his disciples. And I apologize for the bad lighting, but this is about the only place I could stand and not disrespect this cemetery. When I think about the story, first of all, Jesus told them, don't let your heart be troubled. Jesus offers peace that makes no sense. They were about to, their worlds were about to get rocked, and Jesus said, "Don't be troubled." He also, a second thing is, he put himself on the same level as God, and we could camp out there a long time, and we're not going to, but Jesus, in my biblical worldview, Jesus was God, and they were the same, and he's the second person of the Trinity and all of that. But he said, you believe in God, you can believe in me. And by doing that, he put himself in that same category. He also made a bold statement that one of the things he would be doing when he left was preparation for another return. Now, again, and I've told you this time after time, these are my life lessons. They don't have to be yours. And you can have some that I don't get out of this. But for me, it's very clear that Jesus is coming back. He physically died to me. He physically died, was buried, rose from the dead, went back to heaven, and he will physically come back. And one of the reasons he'll come back is to gather his people, to live with him forever. And don't even try to imagine what that means, because that blows our circuits. We just can't even comprehend what forever means. But he said, if I go away, which was his way of saying, I'm going away, I will be back and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you can be also. And then that last line, when Thomas, and we know him as Doubting Thomas, he said, Lord, we don't know where you're going. How are we supposed to know the way? I'll show you some pictures of the way on the Appalachian Trail. People ask me all the time, how do you, are you afraid of getting lost? And people have gotten lost. People have died on the Appalachian Trail for making bad decisions and not paying attention. The problem is you're walking on roots and rocks and a very rough path, and you're looking down at your feet a lot instead of looking up at the big picture. And all along the Appalachian Trail, there's what's called a white blaze. And it's a white rectangle of paint on a tree. And as long as the white blaze is before you, you know you're on the right path. If the white blaze is, if it's a blue blaze or no blaze, then you've gotten off the path. And there are people that do that. I've done it. I've been watching my feet, and all of a sudden I'll look up and think, you know, I haven't seen a white blaze in a while. And I'll backtrack and find that there was a fork in the road, and by watching my feet, I went the wrong way instead of going the way of the white blaze. Jesus said he was the white blaze. He said he's the path that gets people to heaven. My problem, my life lesson there is that it's so easy just to look at my feet, to look at those things that, it's on the Appalachian Trail, it's important to look at your feet or else you're going to stump your toe and hang your foot and fall. I've done that too. But in life, it's real easy for me to get consumed with the immediate. Job, career, relationship, finances, etc. You fill in the blank for you. And when you get all consumed with that, you miss the big picture. And for me, he's the big picture. Jesus is the white blaze. Well, I've got some more white blazes to follow and some more miles to cover. I hope you're following the white blaze. I hope to see you next time on Truth from the Trail.